Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 459 of the Occasional Bugle podcast. I'm your host, Andrew.
And I'm Jonathan.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. So I'm Ryan, and as you can clearly see, I stuck to the integrity of the movie here with this 4:3 aspect ratio of the camera. I guess nobody else thought it was an idea, but it's what it is.
You wouldn't let me. I mean,
I didn't even know I could do that.
Zoom is clearly trying to suppress Zack Snyder's artistic integrity.
Autistic
Skate past that one. Also, we're sorry if there's a little bit of feedback. As you can see, me and Ryan are recording feet away from each other, so there might be a little bit of echo, but we're doing our best. It's easier for Jonathan to edit this. Okay. I don't have any news. I figured we just get straight into this. We're talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. If you haven't already, we did a preview episode on the Ranch Kings podcast last week. That is up, so feel free to listen to that before you listen to this. Is there any point in doing like non-spoiler talk first? No?
Don't
Okay.
listen if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, this is very much full steam ahead spoilers. Yeah, if you haven't watched, turn away now. I liked it.
I'm on the fence.
I didn't think it was great, but I had a good time.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat where I was just like, what? Like, there were so many times I was like, what? That makes no fucking sense. And then, but like, I didn't hate it, which I thought I was going to.
I think a lot of it was maybe me. Like, I had a lot of fun watching it. I can definitely see a lot of the glaring problems, and I have a lot of them written down here. But overall, I think this is much better suited to bear the name Justice League than what was released in 2017.
I'd have to agree with that because that was hot garbage.
Yeah. So I want to start off talking about action. I thought a lot of the action scenes were really, like, surprisingly good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the action is the opening with Wonder Woman is really good.
Yeah, I didn't like the bit in the museum where she like incinerated that guy. That wasn't great. I like the bit on Themyscira where they're like playing hot potato with the mother box. I thought that was a lot of fun. And Steppenwolf fucking bodied a bunch of horses, just beat the hell out of them. So that was great.
My complaint with that is that, first of all, the first woman that goes to touch it, why the fuck did she throw her shield away? Like, she just went up to it and just like, oh, I don't need my protective gear, and then just went to go touch something. She has no idea what it is. I hated I hated it throughout the entire movie, the slow-mo. Anything slow-mo. I just felt it was extremely dragged out.
No, you're not talking about the glizzy scene.
Oh my god,
was the greatest slow-mo scene in action history.
Okay, anything that wasn't Flash related, slow-mo.
Okay.
I didn't like. I didn't like Superman yelling. I felt that was dragged out for no reason.
No, he yelled for 4 minutes.
Exactly. Like, that was so stupid.
That was so funny.
One thing I noticed when Hippolyta exits the place that they're holding the mother box, I noticed that the rocks are falling in real time, but she's in slow motion. So I was like, that doesn't add up.
Yeah, I guess those were like CGI added in post.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Just like, and a lot of that was we saw in the 2017 version, but saw it with a slightly different looking Steppenwolf.
Right.
I found myself actively rooting for Steppenwolf.
Oh, he was a king. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but an improvement, but I think like the strongest point of the movie for me was like getting to see an actual development of the team's relationship. because we had 4 hours to do it. I liked like all the character interactions felt very natural, and like you felt like they actually liked each other for the most part.
Right, yeah, I agree with that. Instead of them just being thrown together, like you said, they had time to like mesh.
Yeah. And like in terms of like the scope and the wider DC universe cosmology, like this definitely matched my mental image of a Justice League movie way better than the other version. Like this, it felt bigger and like a big like epic myth type thing, as opposed to like four goobers fighting in Chernobyl for some reason.
Goobers.
So, performances pretty solid across the board with a few exceptions, which we can talk about a little bit when I get to my list of cons. But yeah, like Ben Affleck looked like he cared. So
Big change.
yeah, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but definitely a hot contender for the biggest improvement. Him and Alfred together, just hanging out, like that whole interaction felt good. Seeing Alfred interact with the rest of the team was great. Like him and Wonder Woman, him and Cyborg, that was all fun. He calls Superman Master Kent, which I thought was nice. Ezra Miller, they really stepped it up. I wasn't a big fan of them in the last one, but here, much more of a less irritating character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if he was at a 10 out of 100, I think he was at like maybe a 15 in this one for me, at least.
Yeah, like all the annoying stuff was, a lot of it was still there,
Yeah.
but there was enough not annoying stuff to make me go, okay, I'm kind of on board with this character.
That's fair.
To the point where I like, under better writing, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this version of the Flash,
Okay.
which we're getting. So,
Right.
I mean, save for the better writing part, we don't know yet. But Ray Fisher, like, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I agree.
I had a complaint, but
Yeah.
his body movement was bothering me. I was telling Andrew about it because he was kind of like, "Oh, the side was like body was like twitching side to side at times." And I just felt it looked really, really unnatural. And I get that he's a cyborg and it's supposed to move a little bit weird, but it just bothered me the whole time.
I liked it in the sense that like you never see him like really standing upright. He's always kind of like hunched and kind of like he's still figuring this out. Like he doesn't have full control over his body, but I get what you mean. It could have been distracting.
I honestly didn't notice it.
Yeah, I'm also just not a big fan of that cyborg design in general.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
like
not
it.
either.
It's a lot.
Got a very hourglass figure to him.
Oh yeah, he was shapely. Yeah. I thought Silas Stone, his dad, was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
like that whole arc for those two characters felt a lot more fleshed out than it was. Like we get to see a lot more of their relationship, so we care a lot more. What else do we got here? Yeah, any other thoughts on like performances? Positively speaking, because we'll get to negatives in a minute.
I was gonna say I really did. I agree with you. I liked Ray Fisher. I thought we got a great amount of Cyborg. I would say he was one of the better characters in the movie. Thought Gal Gadot did like the same.
Oh, no, we're not talking about Gal Gadot now.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about her in a little bit because I got some thoughts.
Fair enough. I do agree with you though. I think Ben Affleck was a lot better in this than he was.
This is the first time I've really like like, okay, he's a good Batman.
Right.
He felt a lot closer to the animated series Batman for me, where it's like, yeah, he's still Batman, but also like he can have fun and like talk to people like a normal person.
Right. Instead
He's
of
not
just being
like,
broody all the time.
yeah, he's not this weird like emotionally stunted hermit. Like he has friends now. Yeah. I just have written here, Ben Affleck looked great.
He's no longer a fridge.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a puffy wet garbage can anymore. And the last kind of big note I have here was Darkseid and the whole Apocalypse cohorts. I thought they were, for the most part, done pretty well. Like, this felt like a pretty solid, like, direct adaptation of what Darkseid is in the comics. Still not crazy about his look, but like seeing him and Desaad and Granny Goodness, like that was all really cool. But I got some more thoughts on Darkseid when we get to the negatives. So what other kind of thoughts do you guys have in regards to positives for this movie?
I like Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought he was. I thought we could have gotten a couple more my mans or yes or stuff like that. But
Oh, right.
overall, I mean, he does the same thing every time he plays Aquaman, and it's pretty good.
They kept the best my man, which was important. We got at least one. We got one my man and one all right.
Was there a booyah at all for Cyborg?
No.
I just realized that as you were talking about the catchphrase. I was like, he didn't say booyah in this like he did in the first one.
Which, like, I've heard Ray Fisher talk about it, how like that was very like forced by
Yeah, it was very forced.
executives and stuff. Which, like, for everyone who grew up with the Teen Titans cartoon, obviously Cyborg says booyah, and even I think it's a thing from the comics. But like, if it doesn't fit for this version of the character, it doesn't fit. So I get it.
Right, like maybe down the line. I mean, not that he'll ever work with them again, but
yeah, unfortunately.
maybe down the line if he was like he maybe would become a lighter version of himself and then start saying it.
Yeah.
But
which we definitely got like inklings of.
Right.
When he took his pants off on his dad's grave.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. I thought that was his hoodie.
Oh, it was both. He was wearing both.
Did a full striptease.
Yeah, he pulled his pants off in front of his dad's grave and shot up to the sky.
Oh, jeez.
That was fun. Yeah, Jason Momoa was good. It was. I feel like him and Wonder Woman and maybe Superman were like the least changed from the 2017 version. Like it was more or less the same character.
The other three had massive improvements out of me.
Yeah, and it was nice to see more of like Atlantis and his supporting cast. So that was cool.
And I enjoyed them making humans really dumb. Like, hey, let's bury this device 3 feet underground.
Yeah. And like I know.
No, you go.
Yeah, like to be fair, like we've said, like the Earth, the mother box of man was the last one to be found. But like maybe dig a deeper hole, guys. Like erosion would get that shit before Darkseid would.
They did a 3-foot hole and acted like in 5,000 years it had only been found once.
Like they were standing over at Mad Proud. They were like, yeah, this is good. I mean, to be fair, like maybe don't build a mother box room to keep your mother box in. But I don't know.
I think it's funny that it started off being hidden under dirt, and then Cyborg's like, I'm also gonna bury it 3 feet underground.
His hole might have even been shallower than the original one.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more thoughts regarding positives? I liked seeing Billy Crudup as Henry Allen again. We got like a little bit more of him, so that was good.
Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah. It's a shame he's not going to be able to come back for the Flash movie, but oh well.
Why is that? They just don't want him?
Scheduling conflicts. He can't. So it is what it is.
I think of other stuff I like.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a whole nother segment planned, so I don't need to go like too crazy. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah, I
If-
can't think of anything else. Not
if
that I
we-
didn't like it, but
yeah. If we want to get into cons,
I'm ready for the cons.
Yeah.
this didn't need to be 4 hours. Like especially in the very beginning when it's Batman going through the mountains, that was like 100 minutes long.
Yeah, what the fuck was the point of that?
That was like, come on. Like it's good for like your opening credits, but let's dial it back.
Between that and Superman screaming, like the whole
12
I
minutes.
was literally, was it actually 12 minutes in?
Probably more.
I
was
just
very
was
long.
so taken out of it right away. I was just like, why? Like this is gonna be terrible just from the two opening scenes.
Yeah. Very weird. Yeah, just you can tell why a lot of deleted scenes are deleted scenes when you see them all put back into the movie.
Yeah. I thought like I wasn't too mad at the length just because like I enjoyed it, but it was kind of draining. Like
Yeah.
when the movie ended, I wanted to go to sleep.
But also like when it gets going, you don't feel the time at all.
Yeah.
Like I felt it moved a lot quicker than it had any right to. So,
That's fair.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah,
I
I'll
watched.
Go ahead.
No, I watched it in parts because I had to go do something unexpectedly. So I was just like, I ended up having to pause it at I think part 5, and then so I watched it in like 3 different parts. So I think that's kind of what like screwed up the pacing for me at least. Like I didn't feel like tired after it, but that's actually like that's why like I watched like 2 hours and like a half hour, then like the rest of it. That's why I'm like I would like to watch it all in one sitting again, see how I feel after it.
We took 2 like 5-minute breaks to order and then to pick up our food during the movie, but other than that, it was pretty much a straight shot.
Yeah. Even though, like, we definitely got a lot more motivation and development for Steppenwolf, still a weak villain.
Yeah.
He deserved better though.
He was a king. He deserved better.
Toxic
But-
relationship with his nephew.
Yeah.
I remember that you saying that he was his uncle throughout the film, and it was like he's groveling so much to his nephew.
Yeah. Still, at the end of the day, a big gray CGI villain.
Yeah.
Visually, not very interesting.
No, he was spiky, so
He was spiky. I like that his armor kind of like changed throughout, like it was moving. That was kind of fun, but I like his weird pug face. But yeah, like we get to see more of him, but it's still whatever. So I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
made him from shitty to like a okay type of villain.
I felt like he was more fun than when he was like a villain. Like I had a lot of fun watching him, but I wouldn't be like, oh, he was good.
Right.
Yeah, and he's great in an action sequence, like just swinging his big axe around. A lot of the best action sequences revolve around him, I feel,
I agree.
because he's just letting loose, like throwing people,
Still love him checking the horses.
bodying a bunch of horses. Here's a question: did Darkseid just like forget where Earth is?
Yes.
Right?
Because he's like, I'm looking for the anti-life equation, and then Steppenwolf's like, I found it. It's on Earth, and Darkseid's like, it's on Earth. Like, did you not? Does your ship not have like a manifest? Like, you not check your logs?
But also, like, you kind of feel like, isn't this the one place he hasn't been able to conquer? Like, don't you
Exactly.
think he would remember exactly where it is? Like, oh, I was defeated here.
Yeah, and like, if they had just said that like that was the reason he hadn't gone back, sure, fine. But like, the fact that it was a reveal that the anti-life equation was on Earth, it's like, you good? Like, I guess like David Thewlis hit him pretty hard with that axe, but surprised
Oh.
David Thewlis is Ares back. That was fun.
Wait,
Was not
that was
expecting
that was the same guy that
from Wonder Woman. Yeah,
Villain, yeah.
I didn't
that
even
was the
notice.
same actor. Yeah.
Good for him.
He was bald and he had a good goatee.
Got a good
Um,
reason.
My one complaint: why was Darkseid so easy to almost kill?
I guess it was like he was a younger Darkseid back then.
Okay, that makes
And it
sense.
was also just all the gods of Earth together at once.
Yeah,
That's fair.
like everyone on Earth was united against him. So
I also love how, like, out of the Greek pantheon, only 3 of them were like, "Yeah, we'll fight." Like,
Yeah,
where are
it
the
was-
rest of you? Like,
yeah, it was like Zeus, Ares. Who else was there?
Artemis. That's it.
Artemis. Yeah. Like like help out a little guy.
I didn't realize it was like TVMA rating wise.
Oh yeah, it was bloody.
Then once Wonder Woman threw a guy into the wall and there was a giant blood stain, I was like, "Oh shit, that's blood."
Yeah. Um.
Right before she eviscerates the other guy.
Yeah, like let's talk about Wonder Woman for a little bit because not a big fan of her in this movie. First of all, acting not great.
Kal-El, no.
Hello, no.
How does she even know that name?
Yeah, me. But like, yeah, she felt very wooden in this, like weirdly, because she's great in Wonder Woman.
Rough in Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, but like also that she's not the problem there. But
Yeah, but she was still pretty stiff.
yeah, I hate how like weird and violent she was in this.
Yeah.
Because like in the beginning with the terrorists, she blows that guy up and puts a hole in a museum.
Cuts a guy's head off at the end. Cuts Steppenwolf's head off.
Yeah, that bothered me. Like that seemed like a real just kick in the balls as he was dying. Like Aquaman already stabbed him and was sending him back through to his nephew. Like maybe don't cut his head off.
I feel like in a way though, like she was sending a message like, "Don't fuck with us. Like we will kill you."
But
But
the
like,
thing
that
is,
doesn't-
Darkseid will fuck with them.
Yeah,
That was
That's
made
fair.
abundantly clear.
yeah. Like it just didn't feel very like Wonder Woman. It was like weird and bloodthirsty. I don't
It
know.
depends because there are different iterations of Wonder Woman where I've seen her go off and just murder things, and then there are other ones where she's like this beacon of hope. It's like, no, don't kill, don't do that.
And like that's pretty much what they've established in these movies. Is she's like,
Not gonna kill things.
yeah, like her
Right.
whole point was like trying to end war in her movie. So
Right, that's fair.
I don't know.
I have another complaint about her.
Hmm.
The lines she was given were not good.
Yeah.
And that's like not her fault. But
no.
like in the beginning when she's interrogating one of the terrorists, she's like, "Who are you?" And then he's answering. She goes, "Boring." I was like, "That's he's answering your fucking question." Like, what the fuck do you mean boring? Like,
Not even for a conversation. Like he's answering your question.
yeah, like, and I think I said that too. Like, I was sitting watching it with my mom, and I was just like, "Didn't she just fucking ask him?" Like, Zack Snyder's like, just
Yeah, I mean, it was I think him and Chris Terrio writing this. Oh boy, yeah, like some of the dialogue was a little rocky.
yeah,
Um,
it's just I don't know.
We talked about this a little bit before. Though improved, Flash was still annoying.
Yes.
Yeah. He did have my favorite scene in the movie, though.
Oh, the hot dog.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
The laughter.
Glizzy over the girl.
The laughter that came from this room when he grabbed the hot dog was unlike anything I felt in months.
I nearly paused the movie.
I was in tears. He looks at her, looks at the hot dog, grabs the hot dog.
You know, they had me fooled throughout this entire movie until like the very end. With his running, I thought they fixed it
Nope.
because in the beginning he's just like stumbling around like really fast, and I was like, "Oh wow, maybe they fixed it." And I got to a point, and I was like, "Motherfucker."
Still weird. And I really like that bit in the Speed Force,
Yeah.
but it was ruined by his weird run.
Wait, which bit?
Yeah, at the end when he's going back through
Turning
time.
back time, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What the fuck was that? Like that, I just felt it was a weird way to visually show it happening.
Yeah.
It was a
I-
weird choice.
Yeah, I prefer that to like the CW. He's just surrounded by walls of yellow lightning. Like he's
That's
in this,
fair.
and this he's kind of like running through space, and it looks really pretty.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair enough. But I don't know. It wasn't my favorite choice because like Like, I feel like people, like casual just moviegoers would be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because even I was kind of like that. I was like, is he, like, he has to be going back in time, but like, why does it look like that?
And like the way he talks about it throughout the movie is like it's something he's done before.
But he doesn't want to ever do it.
Yeah. So that was a little weird.
We also talked about this, but with his running, the lightning's too much for me. Like, I feel like there's just too much lightning going on.
Well, there should have been an epilepsy warning for the one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
when he's
I
like
have a
zipping up
friend-
and down the stairs.
Yeah, like I have a friend that's epileptic. I told him, I said, you need to either like skip the scene or you need to not watch the movie because I think you'll have a seizure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the lightning was too much.
Yeah.
It just made it hard to like track what was going on with him.
Right, exactly.
And I've said this before to Andrew, but I like, as much as I don't like the Speed Force in the CW show, I think the running that they do there is so much better.
Yeah. It just looks more like visually appealing.
And it looks normal. Like, he's not like
As someone that ran track for 10 years, it is very frustrating to see a guy whose running is his thing run like an idiot.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, that's my little rinse.
As someone who grew up watching the Justice League animated series, I love the character of Martian Manhunter. I loved seeing him here. I have never seen such an unnecessary addition to a movie in my entire life. What the fuck was that?
Also, why did he he's pretending to be Martha, right? And so that he can get Lois Lane back in the world. He walks like 2 feet out the door and he's like, all right, back to me.
Yeah.
If she opens the door to be like, oh, you forgot your purse, it's done. She
Yeah.
knows it's Martian Manhunter.
And like Lois knows that general. So like even if she walked out then, she still would have known like something was up.
Yeah, like why did he go back to the general? I agree with that. I also think it would be hysterical to see a scene where she's like, thank you so much, Martha, for the pep talk. It really helped me. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I never gave you a pep talk. She's like, yes, you did. Like, she's gonna sound like an insane person.
Yeah, like it's so like it would have made more sense if that was just Martha giving that pep talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck does Martian Manhunter care about Lois
Hold
Lane?
on, see, you're forgetting the scene in the end where he says, I'm a friend.
See,
Yeah. Oh, and then at the end he shows up to Ben Affleck's house and he's like, I want to help.
like,
It's
where
like,
the fuck
where
were
the
you?
fuck were you like a week ago?
Right? And that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're gonna put him in the scene where he's Martha, like, you should have put him in the final fight. But if you're just gonna leave it as a cameo, like a little fun Easter egg at the end, then I can understand it. You know what I mean? Like,
So, interesting little tidbit. From what I understand, that Martian Manhunter bit with where he was Martha, that was always in the movie. But originally, Zack wanted, instead of Martian Manhunter showing up to the lake house, he wanted Jon Stewart, Green Lantern,
that would be cool.
or some kind of Green Lantern. But Warner Brothers and DC were like, no, we want to use Jon Stewart for something. So no. So it would have made more sense if it was like a different character. He was like, hey, I wasn't here, but I'm here now. But like,
Right.
we know Martian Manhunter's there the whole time. Why the fuck didn't he help out?
Exactly. And he's like, yes, now I want to help.
He's busy giving pep talks. Got a motivational speech tour going on.
Yeah, it was like, he was like, okay, yeah, you guys handled Steppenwolf. Like, yeah, barely. Like, and like they didn't.
No, they didn't. They didn't until
Yeah,
time
Or
was
Flash
turned
had
back.
to like I don't know, that really threw me. I thought his design was kind of cool.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
It looked cool.
Yeah.
I wish the brow was more prominent, because normally he has like a brow that's out to here. But I don't know. That's just me.
As much as I thought Ben Affleck was better, I still don't like the, hey, let's give him a bunch of guns and have him shoot everybody.
Oh, I was way into it this time just because I was like, yeah, this is this Batman. He's like, yeah, he uses guns. There's that one bit where he headshots a parademon. I cheered.
I loved that you can tell that scene with Martian Manhunter though was like shot after the fact because he looks like physically just smaller.
Yeah, he looked a lot thinner.
Yeah, and it's like this is not the same Batman we had throughout the entire film.
Yeah. Great hair, which we'll talk about.
Great
in a
hair.
minute. So remember during the predictions when I was like, I'm probably gonna like the nightmare sequence. Hated it.
Not one bit.
Really?
Hated it.
I liked it a little bit. Yeah, I think that was one of my more enjoyable parts of the movie.
I
thought it was stupid at some points, but
I thought it was such a dumb note to end the movie on.
Yeah.
I also just felt like Jared Leto might have the worst laugh I've ever heard.
yes.
Like for
Agreed.
years, people have said, like, when you criticize Jared Leto's Joker, people are like, just wait until he has a better direction, better movie, better writer. He has all of that here, and he's still absolute dog shit. He's such an awful Joker. He's so terrible. I never want to see him again. I never want to see the actor Jared Leto again.
I'll just wait for Morbius.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I felt like the guy who replaced Lex Luthor in prison laughed better than Jared Leto.
That's so true.
And like, talking about that, another way to bring my mood right fucking down was bringing Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. Like, I thought the Deathstroke stuff was a little bit more interesting in this version, but still, like, it's not leading to anything, so who cares?
Yeah, it's
I
sad.
still think he looked weird, like his mustache was glued on. But I don't know.
I haven't read any of the comics, and so I don't know if this is something that happens often, but I don't understand why Zack Snyder always wants them to be fighting Superman. Like
Yeah.
with the nightmare sequence.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Injustice, that's probably the most prominent like evil Superman story.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's pretty much the only time where everyone's like, yeah, let's fight Superman.
Yeah, like that popularized it, I think. And now, like, he's just insisted on running with that, and I'm so sick of it.
I think it's just like conceptually interesting to be like, what if Superman, the person that's like always supposed to be good, goes bad? But at the same time, I agree with you. It's just it's done a lot now, so it's like, what's the point?
And if you're not showing a good Superman in the first place, you don't get that disconnect when he's evil. It's the same thing with Batman killing in the nightmare sequence. Like, he's killing throughout the whole movie. Who gives a fuck if he's killing in Mad Max? Like,
But then he's like, Joker, don't kill.
no, I think he's okay with Joker killing now because he's killing. But like Joker's like, I know you won't kill me. And it's like, do you know that?
Yeah, I've said this before. Like, if he's killing everyone, why doesn't the Joker have a bullet in his temple?
Well, my one thing is that the Joker, like, Batman said to the Joker at one point, he's like, there's a line you don't cross. Like, you're not going to cross that line, i.e. killing. So I was like, well,
Did he
what?
say that?
Yeah, I was like,
He
what
said
the
something like that. I think it was about the Joker. Like when he was talking, he was like, "Your da-da-da died, and your adopted son died," and then he was talking about someone else dying. And Batman
might
was
be
like,
right,
"Don't go there." And then the Joker went there, and Batman was like, "Oh well, when I killed Harley Quinn, her dying breath was to kill you." Da-da-da. So,
I don't think he was implying that he killed Harley. I think he just implied that like Harley
she just
died in his arms.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, I think you're right. Yeah, I think I had that wrong.
Yeah.
I think
About
it had
the
something to
line.
do with the Joker's words versus anything like that. But
Yeah, because he just kept bringing up like the dead Robin. So
Yeah, that makes more sense. I liked their exchange. I liked their dialogue exchange, but I agree with you, Jared Leto's shit.
yeah, the dialogue was fine. It was
so bad.
I don't understand what the obsession is with making the Joker this weird like Shakespearean prophet. Like the closest we've gotten is Heath Ledger. Like he's just a lunatic who likes killing people. And also like why have we stopped making the Joker funny?
Because it's a Christ allegory.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was gonna say that. What was the point of releasing that promotional art? He
It
didn't
was
wear
just
anything
Jared
like
Leto
that.
being a fucking freak. Like Like, can we stop with this? Like, ooh, Joker's actually he's everyone else is insane. He's sane. It's like, no, he's a fucking nutcase.
I also love that in the nightmare sequence, Cyborg is like, "We can't stay out here for long, or he'll find us." And then they have this like 10-minute conversation. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, of course they found you. Look at what you've been doing.
Yeah, and like, I was reading up on the plans for Justice League 2 and 3, and like when he was talking about Joker was talking about like, oh, you let her die, like he's talking about Lois, because in the Justice League 2 and 3, Darkseid kills Lois,
Right.
and that's what causes Superman to break and become evil. But she's actually carrying Batman's son and all that nonsense. So
I know it's off topic, but there was one scene with the Flash that I did like. It was when they were all getting ready for battle or whatever it was, and so they're all putting like gear on or anything, and this man's just kind of doing yoga in the corner.
yeah, he's just stretching. I thought that was fun.
I really liked his nightmare suit.
Yeah, I thought that looked cool.
I like that a lot. Mira, English accent?
Weird. English or Australian or both?
They're both.
Weird.
I didn't like Volko in this movie.
I just like seeing Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
I didn't like his look. I didn't like his dialogue. I love that he's just like, take it, and then he just throws it on the floor. I was like, that was odd. That was an odd choice.
So, if we're done with our general discussion,
Going into it?
I have a little treat planned.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Yes.
Where did I still need to know where Aquaman gets the Atlantean armor from.
I think Volko gave it to him.
Did he?
Yeah, he was holding the trident in one, or the quindent, excuse me, in one hand, and the chest plate in the other.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay,
Yeah, just
thank
threw it to
you.
him.
Because I was like, where the fuck?
Okay, so I prepared what I like to call the first ever Snyder Awards.
Oh gosh.
So I have a bunch of categories here and a bunch of nominees. We're gonna go through and pick some winners here. First category, best hair. The nominees are Bruce Wayne, wig. Aquaman, Ares, bald but with a goatee, and Henry Allen. I think it's a toss-up between either Aquaman or Bruce Wayne. I really love that Bruce Wayne hair. I like the gray in the temples. I think it looks like a good old Batman.
I'd have to agree with that.
I think I'm gonna go Bruce over Aquaman.
Yeah, me too.
I like the dyed bits in Aquaman's hair, though. It looks kind of funky.
Yeah.
Next up, we have worst hair. Deathstroke's mohawk. Lex Luthor's bald head.
I don't think I need to hear the next one.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, actually. Anytime we can shit on Jared Leto, I'm gonna vote for him. But Lex Luthor is awful. Like,
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg cannot be bald.
I was gonna say Deathstroke's mohawk.
Yeah, weird, but it kind of fits the Mad Max aesthetic.
I guess, yeah.
But also, like, is he taking the time to do that? Like, give himself a mohawk when Superman's hunting them.
Right.
But it's Jared Leto.
Middle Park.
Best action sequence. Wonder Woman at the museum. The Mother Box chase at Themyscira. The fight underneath Gotham Harbor. And the final battle. For me, it's either the Mother Box chase or the final battle.
I would agree.
We could also talk about like the Superman fight scene where he's fighting the Justice League. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But
I like that one more than I like the one under Gotham City.
yeah,
I agree.
I think the final battle is probably the strongest.
But it is the final battle, so it kind of has to be.
I kind of like the museum scene a lot, except for like her incinerating the guy. But
that just killed it to me.
Yeah.
I thought like just as an action sequence, it was good. But I understand where you guys are coming from.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think it's the final battle, especially the bit with the Speed Force. But yeah,
I do like when horses get fought.
I'm gonna give it to Mother Box Chase just because of the horses.
Because he really sent a couple
Yeah.
of horses.
Next we have best cameo. Ryan Choi, the Atom, Martian Manhunter, Volko, and Deathstroke. I kind of liked Ryan Choi just because
really,
Ryan Choi, the Atom.
we would be watching the movie and someone would say something to Ryan Choi like, "Oh, you're in charge now," and Andrew would be like, "You're in charge now, the Atom."
Yeah. Just in terms of him being the best integrated into the plot, I think he worked the best.
I'm sorry, I think you're forgetting Martian Manhunter.
Correct. Jonathan, what say you?
I was gonna agree with you. As much as I love Deathstroke and Joe Manganiello, but I do agree with Ryan Choi because he actually did stuff.
He also just fit. It didn't feel like forced at all with him.
Yeah. It wasn't like a fun little post-credit scene or like what the fuck.
And it was just enough to be like, okay, that's kind of a fun reference because he's the head of like the nanotech division.
Right.
They mentioned that at the end. He's the head of Star Labs now, so that's fun. I like that. Worst cameo, there are only two options. It's Jared Leto or Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
Jared Leto for me.
They're both pretty bad. I'm gonna go Jared Leto, but
At least
I just didn't like any aspect of anything he did. Like I at least enjoyed like the Deathstroke appearance, so that kind of raised the scene for me.
That's fair.
But I liked less of the nightmare sequence than I did of that little thing.
Yeah, I think the implications of like the Legion of Doom are more interesting than the implications of the nightmare scene. And I think like we do get a little bit more development for this Lex than we do than I care about that Joker. So I'm gonna give it to Leto for worst.
Can I go on a tangent real quick?
Go for it.
In regards to Superman's suit, first of all, why pick the black one for, and then at the nightmare sequence, why have the red and blue? I feel like you should switch it at the very least. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, why would you go back to the red and blue when you're bad?
I think that was
just
just
red and blue one there when he put
the
black one on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't like the black
Peter's
suit
gonna
at
die.
all. I know, Andrew, you enjoyed it a little bit, right?
Yeah, we'll get to it in a minute, but yeah. Next up, biggest grayest villain. We have Steppenwolf, Darkseid, or Desaad.
Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf for sure. He was a king.
Gray,
I was just gonna say the other two have some black in them, but he was like all silver and gray.
Exactly. Yeah. He's committed to the bit.
Yeah.
Also, he has like real wide childbearing hips. The award for best entirely CGI buff old lady. There's only one nominee, and it's Granny Goodness, so she wins.
Yeah.
Good old Granny. Okay. Best costume. Batman from the final battle, the tactical bat suit. I like the look of that. From the neck up.
No goggles?
Hate the goggles. The Flash, good suit. It's a good looking suit. Superman, the black and silver. If the silver was a little bit brighter, like more prominent, almost like a chrome, I'd be way on board. But it's too monochrome. And Batman's gross trench coat.
Sounds like you're forgetting Steppenwolf's spikes.
It's either Batman or the Flash, the tactical bat suit.
Flash.
Yeah. Like, I think it's just an interesting look. And like the explanation behind it is cool. It's like the stuff used on spaceships so they don't burn up on re-entry. That's cool.
Which, how did he get?
All right. Worst costume. Steppenwolf, Jared Leto, or Darkseid.
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing weird, like smock.
I didn't hate Steppenwolf's costume as much.
I just thought it was uninteresting.
Yeah. I don't know. I just really liked Steppenwolf because it never looked like he was running. He just kind of like jumped forward 1,000 feet every time.
I agree.
All right. Best performance: Benjamin Giza Affleck Bolt, Henry Cavill, Ray Fisher, or Jeremy Irons.
That's a tough one.
I'm between two here.
I am as well.
I'm between Benjamin Giza Affleck Bolt and Ray Fisher.
Me as well. Okay, yeah, me too.
Who was the second one?
Ray Fisher.
Cavill.
Oh, Henry Cavill was the second on the list. Yeah.
I just felt Henry Cavill wasn't in it enough.
Same thing with Jeremy Irons for me. Like,
Yeah.
he was in a lot, but like he was still like and obviously he's not a main character, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I felt for what he was in though, Henry Cavill was great.
yeah. I liked Ray Fisher a lot. I felt like he had the most arc of anyone in this.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, I liked seeing Ben Affleck not sad and tired again.
Yeah.
Like this was him when he still cared about being Batman.
I'm down to give him most improved, but I think Ray Fisher might have been better in this one.
All right, I think I'll give it to Ray Fisher. I think he put in work here.
Yeah.
All right. Worst performance: Gal Gadot, Jared Leto, Lex Luthor.
I mean,
It's Jared Leto.
you just want to give him as many worst awards as you can. It seems like.
It's just so awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna stop for deliberation. It's Jared Leto. Like,
Gal Gadot was more stiff than she was bad.
Right, I
Right.
agree with that.
the final award: most improved. The nominees are The Flash, Cyborg, Steppenwolf, Ben Affleck.
The actor Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a tough one.
See, I wouldn't necessarily say that Ray Fisher was bad in the first one. I just think they didn't do a lot with him.
He's barely in it.
He's not in the first one. He's
Yeah.
barely a character.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like I don't think he himself improved. I think his character's story got improved.
He got a bigger role, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I
thought
would.
I thought he was fine in the first movie. Like whatever he did in the first movie was fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I just felt he was very underutilized in the first one. So I would have to say Ben Affleck, in my opinion.
And this isn't just regarding performance. This is regarding everything about the character. Like total holistic, everything about Cyborg. How does his improvement stack up against the improvement of Ben Affleck?
Well, yeah, I'm not opposed to having Steppenwolf get a little argument in here.
Should we give Steppenwolf the runaway with? I mean, in terms of looks, Steppenwolf looks a little better. I still don't think he looks good, but it looks better.
I mean, I think we're gonna end up giving it to Ben Affleck.
Are we though? Because Cyborg was a pretty big backbone of this movie, and he definitely wasn't in the original version.
Yeah.
But also, Ben Affleck was really sad in the last movie. So, I don't know. Jonathan, what thoughts have you?
Definitely. You said Flash was one of the options, right?
Yours, yes.
Yeah, definitely wasn't him.
He was improved, just not the most.
I felt he was very snivelly, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite portrayal of Barry Allen. I don't know. I kind of lean towards Ben Affleck a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I also see your points on Ray Fisher.
All right, I'm willing to give this one to Ben Affleck.
Yeah. We gave Ray Fisher best actor, best whatever.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and that is it for the first annual 2021 Snyder Awards.
Now,
Well-
do you guys think that they're gonna make a Snyderverse if this gets enough? No, right?
No.
It doesn't make sense for them
No.
to.
If they
I think-
had so much money, then I'd be like, if they were like backed by Disney, I'd be like, yeah, go for it.
Like at this point, make it a comic.
I mean, they do
Oh,
have
that's a good
they
idea.
do have the money to do it if they really wanted to. It's not like they don't. But I just don't see it happening.
Because this isn't making money the
Yeah.
way a theatrical release is.
Right,
Also,
that's
just-
fair.
You can't put this out in theaters.
No. I think they will, like as a special event, like in IMAX theaters, but
It's not something you can release as like a movie. Like, oh, go to the theater and watch this.
Yeah.
The way like most superheroes movies are.
and having read the plans for Justice League 2 and 3, which I highly recommend everyone does, because if nothing else, they're fascinating. But yeah, I don't see this ending up in a way that isn't bad. After all this time of me shitting on Zack Snyder, finally like one of his movies.
Yeah, you liked it more than I did.
Yeah, I think you both liked it a little bit more than I did.
Well, we rated it. So his ended 4 out of 5. I put it at a 3 out of 5.
I think I did like a 78 out of 100. So I'd say 2.5, I guess, out of 5. Maybe 3.
Well, I was teetering between 3 and 3.5, so that would make sense if you were between 2.5 and 3.
Yeah, and I'm not here to give a numerical value to film's quality. I most of that is just my enjoyment.
Yeah,
Like I had a great time watching it, and I liked seeing a version of the Justice League that wasn't weird and gross and up against a green screen.
Right.
So anyway, do we have any closing thoughts?
I loved when Superman fought Steppenwolf and cut his horn off. I thought that was fun.
I like that. That was cool.
just took his axe to the shoulder.
It's just like,
Didn't do anything.
Yeah, much better use of the freeze breath here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like when like he had him pinned down and Superman was just like wailing on Steppenwolf.
He just kept hitting him.
That was a little mean. And like the boom tube was open, like Darkseid was just watching, watching his uncle get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
You know, there is a chance, because we are getting a new Gods movie. There's a chance we could see Darkseid again. In that. So
do we think he looked the same or obviously different, right?
I hope different. I hope they keep the same voice actor. I thought Ray Porter did a good job.
Yeah, I agree.
I also really like Steppenwolf's voice.
Yeah.
He sounded suitably gravelly. But we shall see. Depends on how connected they want everything to be.
Right.
So who knows?
Yeah, I guess my conclusion of this is that it was more fun than it was good to me, but I did have fun while watching it. I did enjoy myself.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Snyder Cut happened. We watched it. We talked about it. And now we'll never think about it ever again.
I don't know about that, but
Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
definitely.
Don't.
All right. Once again, feel free to listen to the first part of this that we did on the Ranch Kings podcast. We'll have a link to that in the description. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day and eat hot dogs.
Yeah. No bun though. Just like the way the Flash wanted it.
And must be eaten out of pocket.
Dog out of pocket.
Goodbye.
Peace.